Hey there, comic book community. My name is Joe, and you're watching 360 Comics. Recently, my buddy Larry rediscovered his childhood comic book collection at his parents' house, and he decided it was time to get rid of it. He packed those comics up, brought them over to my house, and we were able to make a deal. Stay tuned for a snapshot of the 1990s, along with some other older stuff sprinkled in. As of the time of recording this video, we are only 6 subscribers away from our goal of 2,000, at which point we'll be giving away this book right here, Secret Wars #1. If you want to enter, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up for a like, and leave a comment down below. You can check out our other videos, like them, and leave comments on them for additional entries. And then on Sunday, this coming Sunday, August 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be going live on Instagram for a whole hour to pick a winner and chat about comic books. So definitely get on this. If you haven't yet, you got a couple more days to enter, and then Sunday we'll be picking a winner. Good luck. This collection had a ton of stuff like this. These are, minor to medium key issues, generally ranging from $3 to $10, with a couple that are a little bit more than that. But fortunately, they are popular titles. As you can see, all the SpiderMan stuff up top, and then the XMen stuff in this middle row. That's a newsstand XMen 2099 #1. Some solo books and things like that, Fatal Attractions. And down on the bottom, we've got some G.I. Joe. Not something I'm super into, but definitely very popular. As well as Transformers, a lot of books from the 80s and early 90s. And some cartoon and video game related stuff as well. Can't have the 90s without the Lethal Protector himself. Venom had a ton of limited series before he had an ongoing run. Lethal Protector, Funeral Pyre, Enemy Within, The Madness, The Mace, Sinner Takes All down here. Just a bunch of really good ones. Separation Anxiety is definitely my favorite. This one's a crossover with Carnage. And then we've got Knights of Vengeance. Of course, you can't have a 90s collection without this iconic, epic run right here. Maximum Carnage, some symbiote goodness, if you will. Definitely some great covers from this time period. And we got Planet of the Symbiotes as well. This run I remember fondly from when I was a kid. I think I had the whole run. And then this got me pretty excited. Sonic the Hedgehog, the first ongoing Sonic the Hedgehog series, issues number 1 through 8. And last but certainly not least, we have the 10 best books that I found in this collection, all of which are pretty significant keys, mostly from the late 80s and early 90s, but some stuff that's even older than that. Let's get into it. First off, we've got X-Men number 244, the first appearance of Jubilee. This is a book I've spoken about plenty, whether it was me picking it up or talking about speculating on it and things like that. It's a great book from the late 80s, first appearance of a pretty major X-Men character who has not been done justice in the live action stuff yet, so hopefully the MCU will get this character right for all of us 90s kids. Up next, we've got another X-Men first appearance, this one going all the way back to 1981. Avengers Annual number 10, the first appearance of Rogue, also the first appearance of Madeline Pryor. Same thing goes with this. Great X-Men first appearance, and, we're just waiting. We're waiting for the MCU to incorporate the mutants, the X-Men, all that stuff, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Then next, we've got a book a little bit older. This one is from the late Silver Age. We've got Captain America number 137. This is a crossover between Captain America and Falcon and Spider-Man, and anytime Spider-Man was in another character's book, during this time period, whether it was their first meeting or not, it was a significant issue because Spider-Man was the most popular and still is the most popular Marvel character of all time, not to mention how incredible this cover is. I love this cover, and this is part of a 2-issue crossover between the two. This is certainly the best cover of the two books, but yeah, can't go wrong with some Silver Age Spidey goodness there. This book I was very surprised to see because I have never found this book in a collection before. This is Giant Size Fantastic Four, number 4. Its first appearance of Multiple Man. Unfortunately, this is a really beat up copy, a low grade copy, but definitely a character that I could see them utilizing in the MCU. Would be really cool to see him on the screen. Moving on to Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 90. And it was weird to see this book and none of the other Black Suit keys. For those of you who don't know, this is the second appearance of the Black Suit, Spider-Man's Black Suit, tied with Marvel Team Up number 141. Came out just shortly after, I think like 2 weeks after ASM 252. And of course, incorporated in those early key significance books for the Black Suit is also Secret Wars number 8. And it was strange that there were no other books, Black Suit keys in this. I usually find some of them together. This one was in there alone. Nonetheless, great book. Great key significance, great cover as well, and I'm happy to have it. One weird thing about this, though, it has a date stamp on it, which you don't see a lot with 80s books. Usually that is, 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s, but this one has a date stamp from the 80s. Who knows? It's not a very high-grade book to begin with, even without the date stamp, so not a huge deal. Then we've got the book I showed off in the beginning of the video, Web of Spider-Man number 118, definitely one of the books that, just encapsulates the 90s goodness of comics. Whether you love or hate the Clone Saga, this is definitely the significant key of the run, and honestly, one of the most significant Marvel keys of the mid-1990s. First appearance of Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider. It's got a absolutely amazing cover. In fact, I have a bunch of copies of this book, and I just picked one up over the weekend at Ambler Comic-Con from one of the other dealers there, and the one that I picked up was a newsstand. This is as well. Not super high grade. You really want this book if you're going to get it graded in at least a 9.6, if not a 9.8. Anything below that really isn't worth getting graded, in my opinion, because, 90s books, very readily available. And you just really want to have them in the highest grades, but I'm happy to have another copy of this book, because, I grew up on this. Love it. Then we've got Venom, Sinner Takes All, number 3, and this is a book you might have caught when I was buzzing through those Venom miniseries. It was under another book, but it was sticking out a little bit. This is the first appearance of Anne Wang as She-Venom, and it's got an absolutely fantastic cover once again. Definitely one of the bigger keys from the 1990s, and obviously we saw this on the screen as well, but again, the Venom movies have not been quite up to par with the MCU stuff. Moving on to a book from the Silver Age, an ASM book from the Silver Age. This was a real surprise to find in there. ASM number 44. It is very low grade. You can see just absolute destroyed spine, which is okay. I don't care. I love myself some low grade books, especially Silver Age ASM. This one's sticking in the personal collection. It is the second appearance of the Lizard. Kirk Connors first appears as the Lizard in issue number 9, I believe. He does have some other appearances along the way, but not as the Lizard again until issue number 44. And just a couple months ago, I picked up an issue number 45, so now I have both of that little two-part Lizard run. And always happy to fill in an ASM book for my personal collection, which this one is certainly staying there. Then we've got Spawn, number 1. But look at that at the bottom. What's that? A barcode? That means it's a newsstand. Spawn stuff in newsstand is much, much more rare than the direct editions from the comic shops. I think an absolutely massive part of the print run went to comic book stores and were direct editions. I don't think nearly as much stuff, maybe because Image was a newer company. They just didn't print as much, newsstand stuff as compared to Marvel and DC did in 1992 when this came out. This is just a book that is very clearly associated with 90s comics, right along with that Scarlet Spider. This one probably even more so. Very happy to have it as a newsstand. This one, it's certainly not a 9.8. It's probably not a 9.6 either. Probably in that like 9.4 range, but it's something that I might get graded anyway, just because the rarity of this book, it being a newsstand and all. I think I want to keep it really nice, and it might stay in my personal collection. So haven't really decided on that yet. Finally, last but not least, a book that, again, may stay with me in the personal collection. We've got Amazing Spider-Man number 361, the first appearance of Carnage. It's a newsstand as well. This one, there's not as much of a difference in the newsstand price as compared to the Spawn book, even though they came out right around the same time. But nonetheless, this is a higher grade. I don't think this is going to get a 9.8. It has a bunch of defects. Some of them are pressable, though. So this is a book that I'm going to work on cleaning and pressing myself, and I'm going to submit it. And, if I luck out and it gets the 9.8, very awesome. I'll certainly be throwing Larry some more money there if that's the case, but I don't think so. I think this one is probably more 9.4, maybe 9.6, even after I press out some of the defects. Either way, got some great books for the personal collection, got some other stuff to sell, got a bunch of mini-series to put in my my little run box that I have, and, just great stuff all around. Very nostalgic for me, having grown up in the 90s myself. And big shout out to Larry for bringing this to me and being reasonable on the pricing. Initially, I looked through. We actually had to run to a Magic the Gathering tournament. Didn't have a lot of time. I looked through. I said, "Hey, let me give you $300 now, and if I find some other stuff, I'll throw you some more money later." Well, the very next day, I'm going through it, and I found some Magic the Gathering cards that were in there, some older ones that have a little bit of value. I messaged him and said, "Hey, I found these." He said, "Hey, let me swing by and grab them." I said, "Yeah, take them." And when he arrived to get the books, to get the cards, I threw him another $50 because I had realized, there was a little bit more value in this collection than I initially thought. I didn't realize that the Spawn was a newsstand. That was one of the things that, flipping through, you see a Spawn 1. Okay, cool. I didn't pull it out to see on my initial go through that it was a newsstand, but was happy to find that later on. So I threw him another $50, so $350 total. I think as is, the value is probably around $700 to $800. So a nice little double up. But with grading, it possibly could be like up to $1,000 if I get some good grades out of these books. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and see what I can improve upon myself, pressing, cleaning, and submitting. And a lot of this stuff is gonna stay in the personal collection, especially some of the bigger books, but I'm sure I will do just fine with the rest of it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you very much, Larry. Please give this video a thumbs up for a like, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to join us on Sunday, August 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Instagram Live for our giveaway spectacular. We always spend an hour live. We always chat about comics and do some other stuff, so maybe I'll have like an unboxing there for you guys. Don't miss that. Don't miss out on the claim sales on Instagram, and until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.